What is going on? Ohayou gozaimasu, konnichiwa, and greetings to everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Today, it's actually a nice day. A little funky here in Nagasaki Prefecture, but that just comes with the time. Here in December, since we're in the southwest of Japan, it doesn't snow. We'll get snow in like March, but the temperature is definitely dropping down. I think today our high is like 58, which is really nice. But the wind has picked up a little bit. Not too much. We're talking maybe 25, 30 miles an hour with gusts. But not ideal kayak weather, especially with white caps and just the strong currents. Because if you look at the map, I'll try and post a map on here. We're right near the cut in between Korea and Japan, so we get some really strong tides that come through during this time of year, and especially at mid-spring, which does two things. It brings a lot of migrational fish, like you see in some of my pictures on Instagram. We get huge mahi-mahi that are rolling through from the north down to the south so they can do their thing down in Okinawa and breed, they're following bait fish. But also in springtime we get maguro, which bluefin tuna. Obviously the Japanese, they have a million names for every single type of fish. For instance, what in California I used to call yellowtail, the Australians call them kingfish. There's like 16 different names for them here. Anything from kampachi to buri, which sounds like booty, so it's pretty funny. But when they get to massive size, what a lot of my friends here call donkeys, they're called hiramasa. So depending on the size, the maturity, and the age and the size, fish change names here. So that is something that was very interesting to me, and something that I picked up on very early on, because I was like, oh, I caught this fish, and my friend would be like, no, it's not called that. So anyways, ranting on. Today we're gonna head up to Hirado, my favorite area to fish. Hirado is famous in this area for two things. One, for fishing. A lot of Japan actually comes here on vacation to fish off of charters, or they have a lot of resorts in Hirado for glamping, the glamorous camping, whatever you want to call it. I'm not sure how big of it is in the States, but in Japan, it's a huge tourist industry on camping, and they offer a lot of things where, like, oh yeah, you can fish and camp and blah blah blah. I'll post a picture here so you can see what like some of the resorts look like. Some of them even have like little markets on the weekends to attract extra business, especially during the downtime. But you would think, like, okay, it's winter time. No, it gets even more intense for them during the winter, because they're like, oh, okay, it's the off season, so a lot more locals come on out and they're doing their thing. It is a little rougher time of the season here for fishing, because we don't have so many migrational fish, but a lot of the bait fish, and especially squid, which is a type of fishing they call egging here, or ika is the actual word for fish here, or squid. That's really popular during this time of period. But today we are headed out there to try and get some booty. We're gonna do some rock shore style jigging, like we did last time over in Kosaza, if you haven't seen that video. And we're gonna enjoy this nice little ride. Alright guys, so we're out here in Hirado. Obviously I'm on the rocks, right next to a pier in kind of a peninsula cove-ish area, and across the way I can see mainland Hirado, and then there's a little island in below between us. From here I can see some seagulls, and we actually got some surface action, but it's a little too far to get to. But hopefully they will move in, because the kingfish, yellowtail, booty, whatever you want to call them, they're after the bait fish. So there are quite a bit of birds out here, so I'm gonna get to it. I'm using my Shimano Colt Sniper XR. I got the 1400, again, Caldina by Daiwa. I'm using a 100-gram green silver combo. Man, I'm watching these birds, they're all over it. So let's get to it. Might have to change up the color scheme because the sun is moving in and out, but let's get to it. Another thing to cite here is, so if you come to the pier and you see this, all this lovely graffiti everywhere, it means this is a really good squidding area. Like I was talking about before, the egging type. If you see this, this means this is a good spot to come. So I know dawn dusk period, or a little after or before the sun movements, this is a place to come if I'm looking for that. They're great to eat, especially fried, but even better, they're great as live bait. Big tuna, love squid. So if you're dropping down with the weight and you got it on there live, sure for some action. It's good times right there. All right, so let's get into the mechanics and the breakdown of this actual type of fishing. This fishing is very vigorous. You're gonna feel tired after a long day of doing this, especially if you're getting dropped off by a specialized boat on a rock, or if you're just fishing from a rock structure like this. I'm using a 10-foot rod. This is the Colt Sniper XR series from Shimano, and my reel is an 8000 series Caldina. The next series up for the reel is the Saltega, which is $1,000. I'm not ready to bite that bullet. That's a lot of money. But the Caldina's price point is about $100, $150, depending on the series that you go for. And if you're an amateur fisherman, you're not a starter, that's a pretty good price point. The pole, the Colt Sniper series, can go anywhere from $80 to $200. I think this one was $175. It's a little pricey, but at 10 feet, it is probably the top selling rod when you're not going into those smaller companies that are highly competitive and you're having to basically lottery for a spot to get them. And those poles can go anywhere from $600 to $1,000, so not cheap. The type of lure that I'm using here is a Palms. Palms is a Japanese company that only does this type of fishing. They do a lot of advertisement on YouTube, Instagram, wherever, and they'll do tours around the country. I'm using an 80 gram. The reason for that is it's a little heavier, I can cast it farther, and the way it's designed is, as you can see in the video, I'm jerking it, I'm pulling on it, it's mimicking a bait fish that's trying to escape, and it's injured, dying, anything like that. There's various ways that you can do it. You can do this fast, you can do it slow, but if you're letting it hit the bottom, you're jerking it 8 to 12 times towards the surface and then coming back down almost like in a triangle pattern. You're almost guaranteed to get a hit if there are actual predator fish in the area. I was lucky enough to get 2 fish on this day, but just being said, it was an off hour when I was doing this, so this technique really works. If you go out and you're trying surface and getting nothing, jigs often do the work. My setup for today, I did bring some egg out here to do some squid fishing, but I don't think it's going to be the right time. I should have probably came at sunrise, since it's right around noon. Probably not a good time, but I got some big bait style sticks, a couple from Shimano, one from Maria. That's a blood salmon, and I forget which series this is. This is a Rapido F160 Maria, and this is a Shimano, can't remember, but they're around 60 grams, a little heavier, so you can chuck them. And then to do some jigging from the sides, I have my basic setup of hooks, whatever I'm trying to set up on, and then I have a various color system. Anything from 100 grams to 60 grams, some longer ones. The fatter ones, they'll flutter a little more. The longer ones are a little bit better for faster action, like this one here. This one's made by Palms, I do believe. It's the Scion series. And this one is a little heavier action. Looks really similar, but it's got a glow on the back. It's 100 gram. This one's by Jackal. I really enjoy this one from the boat, but obviously not on the boat today. And then these are really great. There's a whole series of these types. And then if I do see some surface action, this series is really good. This is a new company that's out here. They do a very realistic jig with this metal piece back here to give it a flutter action, and you can actually skip it along the surface. They come in 40 and 60 grams, so can't really throw them too far, but you can get a lot of action and make some surface noise with that. So that's what I'm working with. I got my little rescue bag here. I carry the basics. I got my 60-pound leader just in case I break off. Knife, lighter. I brought my knife to take care of the squid just in case I did squid. And then I have these super handy zip ties. If I do catch a nice Hiramasa, it's a larger kingfish. And then I also have my setup for my squid, which I'm rocking the Daiwa and smaller Daiwa Rebels 3000. Super light combo. I don't even think it's 6-pound test. And then I got a little squid, what they call egging action on there. But we'll see how it goes today. So on this trip I wasn't able to get any egging in. The wind was just so strong. Wind is definitely the biggest thing. It's just squid fishing. But that's okay. That wasn't my main goal. I just brought it out. Anyways, so let's get into more of the mechanics. As I talked before, you're going to want to jig this up triangle type action. Or if you're going to an extreme high speed surface hit and you don't have any surface, you're almost going to want to reel this to the point where it's skimming across the top of it. Those are some of the major types of fishing that I like to do. When it comes to casting, the method that I was taught from a local fisherman who I almost consider it mentor, is you're going to want to have about halfway down the rod. So you're going to leave a considerable amount. You're going to pull it back completely while holding it. You're going to release it almost when it's vertical. So if you watch the video and you see cast there, the rod has a lot of play. And there's a good reason for that. You're able to throw the heavier grams extremely far. I'm talking almost 100 grams. That's pretty crazy if you really think about it. And with a lot of practice, you're able to get targets pretty quickly. And that's because of that large rod. Sorry guys, but there's nothing better in the world than hearing that as the line is released off the reel. That's one of the things I really love about this type of fishing. If you watch it in slow-mo or you're just watching it, you can feel the salt come off of the reel. It's one of those little things in life that you really love. It's important to say that after every time you go fishing, you're taking care of your equipment. So when I bring my stuff home, I like to follow the instruction manual. I'll hose it down, and then I'll just let it dry in the sun. It's as easy as that. After about the 5th time, I'm gonna tear it down a little bit. I'm gonna add some oil and work the joints really well, whether it's the line leader, whether it's my actual handle, the different areas. But there's not much maintenance to these type of reels since they're sealed. It's one of the great things about Daiwa, and especially the color. So one of the other things that I didn't talk about here that it should be mentioned is safety. As you can see here, I'm wearing my inflatable jacket around my waist. These go anywhere from $60 to $100. It's not that much money. For some people, it's a little pricey, but I can't tell you how many people I see on the news in Japan or in my local prefecture that fall, trip, hit their head, and then they drown. So safety is always paramount. I also like to make sure that I'm having plenty of UV protection. I have my Daiwa hat and my Daiwa jacket. Sorry, I'm a Daiwa guy, but I'm making sure that I'm safe, I'm covered, I'm keeping warm, taking care of myself. Can't say that enough, guys. Make sure that you have the proper gear and the proper equipment to be safe so you actually enjoy yourself. Alright guys, so as we wrap up this week's episode, I really wanted to thank you guys for coming out. Make sure you're liking and subscribing because my videos are going to be coming out a little more often as the weather is warming up here. Even though this was filmed in December, it is now mid-March and I've been able to go out a few more times. With the expectation that I'm going to be going out on a few charters in the next couple weeks as the season is arriving. Every day, and they're really here. So thanks again, guys. I hope to see you very soon.